It's 11:59 on the night of a new year. You're scrolling on your phone, watching TV as the clock hits 12. Suddenly, the TV broadcast ends in static. Your phone screen freezes. Next, the lights go out. The whole city becomes dark. You hear car crashes and screaming in the distance. As impossible as it seems, this was a real fear humanity faced. At the turn of the millennium, the world held its breath. Not because of war or politics, but because of a simple, invisible flaw. 2 digits that could bring everything crashing down. For decades, computers around the world had been quietly counting the years with just 2 numbers, 98, 99, and then 00. But when that clock struck midnight on January 1st, 2000, no one truly knew what would happen next. Would planes fall from the sky? Would power grids shut down? Would the digital world, this fragile web we had built, simply blink out of existence? For years, engineers, governments, and corporations had been racing against time. It was called the Millennium Bug. Y2K.
Y2K computer bug.
Y2K bug, the so-called Y2K problem.
There still exists a general state of denial about both the reality and the potential effects of Y2K.
But some experts say Y2K will not be a national nightmare.
The bug will cause a lot of people a lot of trouble if they don't protect their computers when we reach the year 2000.
Long before the internet took over our lives, computers were simple and fragile. Memory and storage were expensive, so programmers saved space wherever they could. One shortcut? Storing years with just 2 digits. 1985 became 85, and 2000 could be stored simply as 00. By the 1990s, those same systems were part of banks, airlines, and governments. Code written decades earlier that no one expected to still be running. Then, some engineers noticed something odd. As they tested systems with future dates, strange things happened. Loans vanished. System clocks reset to 1900. The problem was no longer theoretical. The warnings spread fast. Enterprises hired teams. Governments formed task forces. The media amplified fears. What started as a coding shortcut had become a countdown, a race to patch the world's infrastructure before midnight struck. By the late 1990s, Y2K had gone from an obscure glitch to a global mission. Programmers worked through holidays, testing banks, power grids, hospitals, and satellites, while companies rushed to patch legacy code. The US spent about $8 billion, and worldwide costs likely topped between $300 and $600 billion. One of the largest engineering efforts in history. Meanwhile, the public braced. News anchors warned of blackouts. The Federal Reserve printed extra cash in case of bank runs. Families stocked food and batteries. By New Year's Eve 1999, the bug had become a symbol of modern fear. Humanity waiting to see if the world it built would survive the turn of the clock. New Year's Eve, 1999. Cities glowed under fireworks, but beneath the celebration was fear. In control rooms and offices around the world, technicians watched screens count down to 0. Airlines kept flights in the air. Hospitals switched to manual systems. Governments stood ready for blackouts. Midnight came, and nothing broke. Lights stayed on. Planes kept flying. The digital world did not collapse. There were only minor glitches. A brief U.S. intelligence satellite processing error. A few faulty cash registers and parking meters. Nothing catastrophic. Relief spread quickly. By morning, the Millennium Bug was already a punchline. But the engineers knew better. The silence at midnight wasn't luck. It was the sound of a problem fixed before anyone noticed. Y2K became a paradox, a disaster that never happened, because people prevented it. It proved that sometimes the most heroic thing we can do is make sure nothing happens at all. In the end, Y2K wasn't a failure. It was proof that preparation works. The disaster never came, not because the threat wasn't real, but because people took it seriously. Millions of engineers, planners, and workers solved a problem most of the world never even saw. It's strange to think that the biggest crisis of the digital age ended in silence. No explosion, no chaos, just the quiet hum of machines that kept running. But Y2K left behind something more important than relief: awareness. It reminded us how fragile our systems are and how easily a line of code can ripple through the real world. Today, our challenges look different. Artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, digital networks that learn and grow faster than we can fully understand. We're pushing technology at a pace we've never seen before, often without stopping to ask if we're ready for what comes next. Our reliance on these systems runs deep, from how we work to how we communicate to how we think. If we move too fast, without caution or foresight, our dependence could become our downfall. The year 2000 came and went without collapse, but Y2K was never just about a bug. It was about trust in our systems and in each other. Because in that moment, as the world held its breath, we learned something vital. Sometimes the greatest success is when nothing goes wrong at all. Thanks for watching our first video on Fourth Wall TV. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting our channel by subscribing. We look forward to starting this new journey with you.